Thank you, and thank you to the entire Grow family. And first off, what a beautiful area you live in. And the views that you have here, I mean, you were showing me the 9-mile view back to the tunnel on the turnpike that I just came through earlier today on the way down here, coming back from Pittsburgh. This is an important day for agriculture. It's an important day to Pennsylvania to celebrate what we're here to celebrate. It's an important day to recognize the past of our history in this Commonwealth of being an agriculture community, and to recognize the future, but also to recognize the present. You know, during the tour that we had, and I mean, I've toured dairy farms before, I like them, but you explained something to me that you do here that I don't think many people outside the agriculture community know, and we have an opportunity here with the media to talk about it, because every day when those tanks go out, what was it, 10,000 glasses, 8-ounce glasses of milk a day produced from this farm. Now, what's important about that? Well, I think we all know we need milk. We need milk for our young ones. Like, where's Karsten's? Where'd he go? Karsten's? Karsten's hiding back there. He was on the truck. He's the shy one. From Karsten to me to you, we all need to have that nourishment of milk. And where do you get it? You get it from the farms, and I can't think of a better place to get it than the farms of Pennsylvania. The farming community is the history of this Commonwealth, and it's so important that we continue in that history. You know, it was getting difficult, or it is difficult. We're talking about the prices of grain in order to feed the cows, and the price of milk, and kind of being a little bit out of kilter. But when you added in the inheritance tax, it made it very difficult for farms to be able to continue to be passed down. I see a lot of our children here, young adults here, teenagers with the FFA jackets that are here that are part of us, that hopefully will continue in the farming tradition with family farms. The Gro family introduced me to both of their families, the continuation of this, and I'm sure that someday Carson's will be working this farm. And that the newest member of the family, where is he? Where is he? Jarrett? Yeah. Just married in. It's a good thing he knew how to farm, because he's the herd master. But he became part of the family. And this is, as I know, I tell everybody, you know, I have a hard job. Nothing compared to being a dairy farmer. In my opinion, that, you know, they're the hardest, unknown hardest job, at least in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and in the country, because you don't get a day off. The cows have to be taken care of. They have to be milked. They have to be fed. They have to be taken care of in order to continue exactly what you're doing. So we had in Pennsylvania, because of the whatever course in the past, put a tax, an inheritance tax, as we have on other people, we have it on the farms. And unfortunately, it was making the continuation of farming without selling off a portion of the farms impossible to continue. We are seeing a reduction of farms. Now, we've seen a reduction of farms because people wanted to get out of farming. That's fine. But when people don't want to get out of farming and the cost of the inheritance tax caused them to sell off a portion of that farm so that they could pass it on to the next generation, you know, I think, and the representatives behind me, Bloom and Kaufman, think, and they were able to convince the House and the Senate that it was time to get out of the business of a death tax on the farms and the family farms of Pennsylvania. And I will note that this is on the family farms of Pennsylvania. Somewhere I heard a criticism that this is for the big corporate farms. No, it's not. It's for the family farms. And if you had the opportunity to go inside the house with me and get to meet the entire family, and I'm sure they all work together here on the farm, you understand that this is a love of farming and a love of family. And in this day and age, I can't think of anything better than to have a love of family and family working together. And I want to see that continue across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So I am pleased to be able to announce, we've already signed the bill, but this is our celebration of maybe changing the culture, not of farming, but the culture in Harrisburg of continuing to tax and tax and tax and spend. You know, we still have things that we have to spend for, and we still have to raise taxes. But when a tax is putting a business like farming out of business, it doesn't make any sense. And so when I say change of culture, what I'm talking about is something that I campaigned on 2 years ago, is trying to bring common sense to Harrisburg. And the representatives behind me will agree with me, that isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do. It's an education process to some of our members in the legislature. And I would certainly love to see us, maybe we can get all the legislators out to see a family farm and to see exactly what they have enabled the family farms to do to continue the rich tradition and rich history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but also to continue an industry that is the #1 industry in Pennsylvania. So thank you for inviting me to come here and celebrate this passage of tax reduction, or tax elimination in this case. And at some point in time, I hope I get to do this with other taxes in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Thank you very much. Now we'll see how good the press is if I didn't answer their questions already. Questions? Done. Got to be fast.
Can you tell me how much of a revenue source this tax was for Pennsylvania before it was eliminated?
I don't have it off the top of my head.
In the
Maybe.
ballpark,
Come on. Use the microphone so that they.
in the tax reduction, or the revenue reduction, is in the ballpark of $2 to $3 million in the first year, and taking it out several years to 2015, it was in the ballpark of $4 to $5 million. So in the scheme of things, compared to the money, for example, the $200 million or so that the state already pays in helping to improve farm and agricultural infrastructure, this is a drop in the bucket, and now we're not working at cross purposes. We're not taxing something that we're also trying to promote at the same time. So it's a very, very positive fiscal decision.
Other questions? Let's stay on topic first, and then you can ask off topic. Any other questions on the topic?
Do you have a set size or anything for the kind of family farm that
I think, I believe, if I recall correctly, 75% of it has to be a working farm. Okay. Or $2,000. Has to generate $2,000 in profit a year. There's a lot of family farms. You come along and ride with me for a few days, and you'll see all the family farms in Pennsylvania. I mean, I was just up in, back when we were doing the kayak trip last week and driving through places like Warren County and Forest County and Elk County. And just as we see family farms here, we see them up there too.